Now, before I get into the movie, um, I'm not a fan of Tyler Perry. I was when I was young and ignorant and couldn't see what he was putting in his movies and how he was portraying men and how he was portraying black women and black men in his movies. So let's start with this. I think Tyler Perry has either I think he has like a love hatred relationship when it comes to black men in particular. Um, because if you go back to his early plays and his early movies and even some of his current movies now, you know, it seems like he has a hatred. And I'm going to see if I can use some examples from some of his movies. So, and it seems like he's a colorist, just a little bit. But let's move on. Diary of a Mad Black Woman. This is one of them examples of demonizing the dark skinned man and uplifting the light skinned man, which is, what is his name? Shamir Moore. And the other man was Steve Harris. Y'all remember this scene when she threw his ass in the tub? You know, this is just another example of him making black man or dark skinned black man to be this evil and they gonna do damage to you. But the light skinned man, he gonna come at you, he gonna marry you, he's gonna treat you like a queen, quote unquote. But another movie. What is this shit? Was called Medea's Family Reunion. Blair Underwood. You know, he's supposed to be this guy that was like the most attractive man of his year or whatever, man of the year, whatever it was called. But then he's like this guy that's abusing his wife and beating her and controlling her and want to know her every move. But then she stops talking to her husband. Like, and then even though they didn't have the woman that was getting abused, leaving for her light skinned man, he still throws in the dark skinned woman getting with the light skinned man. Now, let me say this. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with a light skinned man getting with a brown skinned woman, or, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a colorist. But I can see how he's demonizing and making the dark skinned man to be this unwanted man and to be this man that you don't want to deal with because he's a savage. Because that's what he's portraying in his movies. Moving on. Another movie, Meet the Browns. Philip Edward Van Leer. God dang, this man got a long ass name. Um, he's supposed to be the baby daddy of what was her name? I can't slip in my mind, but it don't matter. Of this brown skinned woman and Meet the Browns. But she eventually leaves, stops talking to him because she sees that, he's not living up to being the man that she wants him to be. Rick Fox. And this is very comical to a certain extent because it's like uh some men see this. I would say most men see it through Tyler Perry movies, but it seems like our women don't see through it because they're so emotional. Because that's what he does. He preys on black women's emotions. But moving on, light skinned man marries the dark skinned woman. Light skinned man in his plays. But then Tyler Perry, this is when he transitions to saying all black men are just evil. All of them ain't shit. And what's better? Getting you a white man. And that's the scene you see right here is in the movie. It's from that movie, The Family That Prays. She's messing with this white man. Even though her husband makes a decent amount of money and had plans to work for himself, she felt like he could never live up to being the man that this white man is, which is this guy that's, corporate, is a boss, apparently. Um, but then he eventually does not leave her for his wife, which is in the back scene right there, you know, and he just treats her like a fucking, like a thought. That's all. I mean, this is how he treats her. He just treats her like she ain't shit, cause that's all she was to him. She was just a piece of ass. But you know, Then that's when the husband slaps the shit out of her, which he should have. But after the family that prays, that's when he kept going on in this tirade of saying, that you need to get you. He just went from light skinned man, now he's going to white man, then a Mexican. This is the guy. He was in the movie with Taraji P Henson, another Tyler Perry movie, I Can Do Bad All by Myself, and apparently the guy that she was with wasn't shit, because they both was, degenerates. They weren't, nothing was going on in their lives. They were just being degenerates. But then this guy, he's a carpenter, and he comes in and saves the day. And yes, I am against interracial marriage, interracial couples. Now, I'm not going to make all these damn videos about it, but I am against it because I think it's racial genocide, and I think our people should stay together. But that's just me. And then that's when he said, this is when he really took it up a notch. 4-Color Girls. I don't care what nobody tell me. This is one of those movies where, this should be boycotted. This movie should have been boycotted. This movie should not have got any money, in my opinion. How in the hit? First of all, what I noticed. One dude is, let's see, what's the man? I know I got a picture of it. I guess I didn't download it. Oh well. One of the men in the movie was gay, who was married to Janet Jackson's character. Another man, Michael Ealy, played by Michael Ealy, he was crazy from the war, and he killed his kids, and just another guy. He was just trying to get with another black woman to use her for her benefit. It was just some nigga shit. Like, who, like, why would you make this type of movie? Like, we don't need these type of movies being made. Another guy raped a woman, which is played by Miss Huxtable's daughter. Can't think of her real name, but Miss Huxtable, from the Cosby Show, her daughter is in it right here. And it was just, how can you really, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna put it all on the man in this movie. How can you read the script and be like, oh, okay, yeah, this is perfect? No, you should be looking at that like not all black men on the down low. That's a stereotype that's been pushed out here. Not all men out here gonna rape you. Like, come on, man. I'm not saying there ain't no black man that don't that's not gay, but there are some exceptions. But when you put something in a movie, people are so malleable that they don't see that that not all men are like this because it's in a movie, and they take these stereotypes and they they turn into a reality in their minds. They're like, he might be gay, or I don't know, And I'm not saying you shouldn't be cautious, because both parties, both people in a relationship, or if you just meet somebody, should be cautious on who they're dealing with. But to put this message out and make it seem like all men, or just only black men, because I've noticed in his movies he never shows other races of men being this demonic savage. Like, okay, like the white man cheating on his, so-called cheating on his wife or whatever. eh, but that's not as bad as somebody throwing their kids out the window or raping the woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. But let's get back to the original topic of this damn video. This movie right here. Now, I don't know who did the wigs for this movie. That's where I'm gonna start at. But y'all need y'all ass kicked. This shit look fake as hell. What the fuck is that on his head? He don't even look younger with the wig on his head, in my opinion. Then you got Tyler Perry up here looking like, I can't tell if he Wolfman or if he Beast from the X-Men series. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't tell. Like, I couldn't tell. I thought this was the X-Men movie at first. I thought Jean Grey and and the rest of the X-Men was gonna jump out. Cause that's how much, if you just throw some blue, just color his beard and his hair blue, you'd be like, damn, is that Beast? But let's get to this this fuck ass movie. So apparently, the synopsis of this movie is Grace, who is a law-abiding citizen, confesses to killing her new husband, and her sketchy young lawyer sets out to uncover the truth. So Grace, which is the brown-skinned woman right here in the picture right here, her husband cheats on her with a younger woman, and she goes into depression, and she's still working at her job at the bank. So her friend, which is right here, Miss Huxtable, she's always gonna be remembered as Miss Huxtable. I'm sorry, that's just what it is. She tells her, "No, you need to go out and meet somebody," and she tells her to go to this certain art exhibit and just get out and mingle, meet somebody. So then here comes the flat top king, the country pimp. So the flat top king, he walks up to her talking all this, and I've been to Africa, and I've been there, and blah 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 blah. Just basically filling her head up, and complimenting her on how beautiful she is and all this old nigga shit. So eventually, they start talking. Then she finds out that the exhibit was his, and then eventually, they get their number and they go out. And now, see, they made it seem like this woman was just so gullible and dumb. And I'm not saying not women out here like that, but a lot of women are more mature and more aware than they were back in the day, in my opinion. Like, they wouldn't have been able to fall for this. First of all, he took her to a diner. And, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with taking a woman to a diner, but why would you be dressed so good to where y'all dressed to the nine? You know what I'm saying? Like, she had on heels and a dress. I was like, damn, but y'all going to a ball or something? Like, y'all didn't have to get all dressed up for this, but that should have been a red flag for Grace, in my opinion. And then they fell in love so quick. It seemed like it was like, were y'all dating for like some months? Cause it didn't seem like a year. It seemed like they was dating. He took her to the forest, and they took pictures of each other. I mean, he took pictures of her, and it just seemed like the movie was just moving on so quick. But then they got married, and then that's when it went downhill. The flat top king, AKA the country pimp, this man turned into a nigga for real. He pretty much cleared out her, pretty much, put out a mortgage for a house, got her fired from a job because he stole money from some accounts. It was just a lot of this stuff. I was just like, really? Because he took pictures of her, because after they got married, I guess she felt more comfortable with leaving stuff, as far as her accounts open on the computer. So he just took pictures of that, made it seem like he was taking pictures of her, but really he was taking pictures of her account. But you got to keep your guard up. But moving on. Then the flat top king, he wanted to make it seem like he was on her side and help, try to help her, find out what happened and who did it, even though she accused him. Then, the flat top king, he, comes home one day and she's sitting there and she said, "I know it was you," because she went back to the bank and found out that this guy was there, pretty much. So then that's when this nigga turns up on her and, brings another woman to the house. She tried to get some kicked out of the house, but she can't because they're legally married and she can't kick him out legally. And, then eventually he comes down and gives that infamous speech of, your low-hanging fruit and all this old nonsense, and she beats his head then. But let me back up. The lawyer, who was trying to help her out, she's getting all this information. So while the story's going on and how she met this guy or whatever, she's telling it to her lawyer. And her lawyer was, at first she was kind of skeptical because she thinks that everybody is not innocent, but then she hears her story and thinks that she is innocent, so she takes a case on, even though her boss, Tyler Perry, aka Beast, um, tells her to, go ahead and get her to uh, take the 15 years, take the deal, take the plea deal. So she eventually takes her to court, and they lose because of certain evidence or whatever. Well, because her friend, Miss Huxtable, confesses to say uh, that she caught her on the phone and she said that she did kill him. So then she gets time for that. But then eventually they come back to court. Well, let me back up. The lawyer does more investigation and she finds out that Miss Huxtable has been keeping old ladies basically in the basement but taking their money. But my thing is, the house they were living in wasn't shit. I was like, if you got all this money, you got millions. Because it wasn't thousands. She wasn't thousands, millions. And you've been doing this for many years. You would think they have a better looking house. Or you would think they would just have enough money to where they could just sit around. Because if I got, let's say, 20 million, 10 million, you good. Unless you're trying to just keep up a certain image, you better go to another country where that money can last long. Asia, the money will last long. But that's here and there. No, anyway. So then eventually, the light skinned boy, and that's another thing. Once again, where's he at? I know I got his ass. No, I don't. Her boyfriend, the light skinned guy. The cop. He comes in, saves his wife or whatever, and then eventually, somehow, Miss Huxtable gets away because, and that was another thing. Why would you handcuff somebody and don't handcuff them to the chair? You just handcuff the hand. She can still run, nigga. This is like the worst police officer ever. This man put handcuffs on somebody, but didn't put a handcuffer to the chair. He ain't handcuff her to nothing else that would keep her sitting there. He just handcuffed her, threw her in the bag and said, "All right, I'll be back." Her ass ran up out of there. I was like, this is the worst. I could tell. See, I read that he did this movie in 5 days. I can tell. Because his writing was just, whoever put this in, I mean, really, Tyler? But, um, you know, move it on. But she didn't kill him, for one. So that helps her out, as far as her getting out of jail. And it was, of course, Miss Huxtable got away. She moved in to somebody else's house and taking care of their old family member. But it was just like, okay, what do you? It's just like, okay, so you're trying to say that this woman was so gullible that she meet her young man and a young dark skinned man, by the way, and he was just this savage. Like, why would you put that black love is being attacked? Why would you put this in a movie like this? Why not make first of all, your movies are the same in my opinion. There's no I haven't seen that many movies that weren't different. Okay, Medea's Boo, them trash ass Halloween movies. I could say that. Alice Cross, which you stole that from uh, uh some old Morgan Freeman movie and another white guy that made that movie before you, but to me the movies are the same. It's just a bunch of drama demonizing black men, and I don't give a damn who likes it or not. I will not support Tyler Perry movies no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I don't support him anyway because I watch this shit for free, but we just gonna leave that right there. But I will not give my time into watching any more Tyler Perry movies. This shit is done. If you can't see through the nonsense of him demonizing black men and really demonizing black women at the same time, don't get me wrong, Acro movie was a well-written movie and it had a message in there where women need to control their emotions, but these other movies, come on. Nah, no more Tyler Perry. And that's all I got.